The Great Hall of the Galactic Council floated above a dying sun. Its golden walls shimmered like liquid light, and the air hummed with alien voices from hundreds of worlds. They had gathered to discuss one small planet, Earth. At the center of the hall, a trembling ambassador held a small blue hologram in his hands. It showed the message sent from humanity, a short comm transmission written in an old language called English. He read it aloud. "We seek no war, only respect." For a moment, silence filled the hall. Then came the laughter. Deep echoing laughter from every corner, from reptilian mouths, insect jaws, metallic throats. The sound shook the walls. "Respect?" One alien sneered. "From a species that still breathes oxygen like children? They still use radio waves." Another mocked. "Primitive technology from the Dark Ages?" The laughter grew louder, like thunder rolling through the chamber. But one alien did not laugh. Admiral Karen of the Zilari sat quietly near the back. His large black eyes did not blink. His claws tapped nervously on the table. He had seen something the others refused to believe. When the laughter finally began to fade, Karen spoke in a low, calm voice. "Do not mock them," he said. "You have not seen what I have seen." The room went silent again. Every eye turned toward him. "What did you see, Admiral?" One council member asked with a grin. "Another human movie? Another empty threat?" Karen's voice was cold. "No, I saw what happened on Mars." The laughter stopped completely. Everyone had heard rumors, whispers about the Zilari expedition that vanished years ago near the Red Planet. No one ever returned. The official report said it was a technical failure. But Karen knew better. "I commanded the observation fleet," he said slowly. "We sent 5 ships. The humans said Mars was forbidden. We didn't listen." He looked down at his metallic claws, remembering. "When our ships entered orbit, our systems went blind. Our weapons shut down, then something appeared behind us. Not on sensors. Not on radar. It was like a shadow in space." "What happened then?" another voice asked. Karen's voice dropped to a whisper. "We fired everything we had. Nothing hit." The shadow didn't move. It only watched, and then, one by one, our ships vanished. No explosion. No wreckage. Just light and silence. The chamber filled with uneasy murmurs. Someone shouted, "You expect us to believe a ghost story?" Karen didn't answer. He simply said, "Do not provoke them. They are not what they seem." But the council did not listen. The Supreme Chancellor rose from his throne. "Earth is a minor world," he declared, "barely unified. Their technology is centuries behind ours. If they wish for respect, we will teach them the price of defiance." The council members cheered. Orders were given. The greatest armada in the galaxy, over 1,000 ships, was sent toward the solar system. Karen stood at the window, watching the fleet depart. "Fools," he whispered. "You're walking into the dark with your eyes closed." Days passed. Across the stars, the fleet approached Earth. Commanders joked over open channels, mocking the blue planet shining below. "Look at it," one laughed. "So small, so fragile. Let's finish this fast. I want to be home before the next rotation." Then suddenly, silence. The signal stopped. Every channel went dead. The Council's communication officers tried to re-establish contact, but nothing came back. No distress call. No explosion, just nothing. On the 3rd day, one message finally reached them. It was a short recording from the lead ship, filled with static and a trembling voice. They smiled. Before they disappeared, the line cut off. Inside the council hall, panic began to spread. The Chancellor shouted for answers. "What is happening out there?" No one could explain. Radar showed nothing. The entire armada gone. Karen closed his eyes. "It has begun," he said softly. The Chancellor turned to him, furious. "What do you mean, Admiral?" Karen looked at the dying sun outside the hall's window. "The humans warned us. They said they did not want war." We laughed. "But we forgot one thing." He turned slowly, his voice trembling now. "When they stop being patient, they stop being human." The council fell silent again. All around them, holographic screens flickered with strange signals. Ghost readings near Jupiter, unidentified objects around Mars. "Impossible," one scientist whispered. "There's no record of human ships there." Karen only stared at the screen, his eyes wide. "You still don't understand," he said. "Those are not ships. What are they then?" the Chancellor demanded. Karen's answer was quiet, almost a breath. "Warnings. The last scene shows a black void near Earth. Dozens of alien ships float silently, empty and cold, their lights dead. Then a faint blue glow spreads through space, the shadow Karen once saw near Mars, moving toward the camera, slow and unstoppable. A single voice echoes through the darkness. This can't be happening. Where did they go?" The news spread across the galaxy like fire in dry grass. The Council's grand armada had disappeared. 1,000 ships gone without a trace. At first, no one believed it. Rumors spread. Some said the humans used black holes as weapons. Others whispered that Earth had help from ancient alien gods. But Admiral Karen knew the truth. Humans had done this themselves. Inside the Council Command Center, the air smelled of fear. Screens flickered with static. Every attempt to contact the missing fleet failed. Technicians shouted over each other, trying to restore the signal. One officer finally cried, "We found something." A black box transmission from ship Delta 47. The Chancellor ordered it played at once. A fuzzy voice filled the hall, heavy breathing, static, and a trembling whisper. "They're not fighting us. They're watching, smiling at us." Then light, only light. The recording cut off. The room went silent. Every alien in the hall looked at each other in shock. The Chancellor slammed his fist on the table. "This is human trickery. They are using cloaking weapons. We will send another fleet, double the size." Karen stepped forward. His deep voice echoed through the room. "You will lose them too." The Chancellor turned sharply. "Explain yourself, Admiral." Karen took a breath. "Humans are not using cloaking. They're using something we don't understand. Something alive. Their planet itself might be their weapon." A nervous scientist laughed. "A planet as a weapon? Ridiculous." Karen didn't laugh. He placed a clawed hand on the table and projected a hologram of Earth. "Look," he said. "Every reading shows abnormal gravity waves. It's as if the planet is breathing." The scientist frowned. "That's impossible, is it?" Karen replied quietly. "Tell that to the fleet that vanished near Mars." The Chancellor gritted his teeth. "Enough of your ghost stories, Admiral. We will not be frightened by primitive creatures." But deep down, fear was already growing in his heart. Days later, the Council's largest battle group, 2,000 ships, entered the solar system. They came prepared this time. Stealth fields, anti-gravity armor, plasma cannons. Every weapon known to the galaxy pointed at the blue planet. They expected a fight. But Earth was silent. No ships launched. No radio signals. No threats. Just silence. The alien commander laughed over the comms. "Maybe they've surrendered already." But then his laughter stopped. One by one, their ships started to fade from sensors and exactly like before. Not destroyed, not damaged. "Just gone. Commander," shouted a young officer. "We are losing contact with the forward line." "What's happening?" "Unknown anomaly approaching from Earth's shadow." The commander ordered all ships to fire. Thousands of plasma beams lit up the void. The space around Earth exploded with light, and then everything went black. In the council chamber, Karen stood before the flickering hologram feed. The last images from the battle group were terrifying. Ships melting into blue light like being swallowed by invisible hands. Then a message appeared across all screens written in human language. "Please stop. We don't want to hurt you." The council members stared in disbelief. "It's a trick," someone yelled. "They are taunting us." But Karen whispered, "No, that's not a threat. It's a warning." He looked around the room at the frightened faces. "Don't you see? They're holding back. They could have destroyed us, but they didn't. That message means they still want peace." The Chancellor glared. "Peace after killing our fleets?" Karen shook his head. "They didn't kill anyone. There were no explosions, no wreckage. The ships were taken, not destroyed." The council members murmured nervously. "Taken where?" Karen looked toward the stars. "I don't know, maybe somewhere only humans can reach." On Earth, deep beneath the Antarctic ice, a hidden base came alive. Massive machines hummed as blue energy flowed through tunnels of frozen rock. Human scientists watched holographic projections of the vanished ships, now frozen inside a strange field. Untouched, asleep, a woman in a white uniform whispered, Admiral, the second fleet is secured. No harm to the crews. An older man turned toward her. Earth Admiral Reeves. His face was calm, his eyes tired. Good, send the message again. Yes, sir. Same message? He nodded. Same message. Maybe this time, they'll listen. Back in the council hall, Karen received a new transmission. It was short. Only 3 words, we warned you. The room fell silent. No one spoke. For the first time in centuries, the Great Galactic Council felt small and afraid. Karen turned off the transmission and faced the Chancellor. Do you understand now? He said softly. They are not monsters. They are patient. But patience has limits. He looked toward the stars, his voice almost a whisper. When humans stopped being polite, the galaxy was silent. The mighty fleets of the Council had vanished, swallowed by the dark near Earth. No one dared to send another ship. Even the bravest warriors refused to go near the blue zone. Whispers spread from planet to planet. Some said Earth had awakened ancient gods. Others said the humans had found a weapon beyond imagination. But no one knew the truth. Admiral Karen couldn't sleep. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the message again. Please stop. We don't want to hurt you. He sat alone in his quarters, staring at the hologram of Earth. Small, fragile, glowing softly in the void. How can a world like that defeat the galaxy's strongest fleet without firing a shot? He whispered. He didn't know the answer. But deep beneath Earth's surface, humanity did. Thousands of meters below the Antarctic ice, a massive complex pulsed with blue light. Rows of glowing reactors hummed like sleeping giants. At the center stood Project Erebus, humanity's most secret creation. It wasn't a weapon in the usual sense. It was something older, something alive in its own way. A machine that could bend gravity, warp time, and make ships disappear without a trace. Admiral Reeves walked through the observation deck, his hands behind his back. He stopped beside a young scientist. Report. Sir, she said, looking at the glowing sphere in the center of the chamber. Erebus is stable. The captured fleets are still intact, floating inside the containment field. No harm to the alien crews. Good, Reeves said quietly. They'll wake up soon. But not yet, the woman hesitated. Sir, do you think they'll ever understand? Reeves looked at her, his eyes heavy. Maybe one day. We told them we wanted peace. They laughed. Now we're showing them what peace costs. Meanwhile, in the Galactic Council, panic had turned into paranoia. The Chancellor ordered new scans of Earth, but every probe vanished before reaching orbit. One scout ship managed to send a few images before disappearing. Photographs of strange blue lights deep under the oceans, moving like veins of energy. What is that? Shouted a scientist. Unknown, replied another. It's not technology as we know it, it's biological. Karen watched the images in silence. The blue veins pulsed rhythmically like a heartbeat. He whispered, It's the planet itself. The Chancellor glared at him. You think Earth is alive? Karen shook his head slowly. Not alive, but connected. They're machines in their world and they move as one. Maybe that's why they call it home. The Council grew desperate. They began experimenting with new weapons. Dark matter torpedoes, quantum disruptors, anything that might stop the humans. But every test ended the same way. Failure. Every weapon that entered the blue zone vanished. Every ship that got too close simply stopped responding. Then one day, Earth sent another message. Calm, polite, and terrifying in its simplicity. We do not seek war, but if you continue, we will respond. The Chancellor crushed the datapad in his hand. Respond? They already destroyed our fleets. Karen corrected him softly. No, Chancellor. They didn't destroy them. They took them. That's a warning. The next time they might not be so kind. The Chancellor snapped. You sound like you admire them. Karen looked up. I don't admire them. I fear them. But more than that, I respect them. Because unlike us, they still believe in mercy. On Earth, the Erebus chamber trembled as new energy flowed through the system. Sir, the technician called. Erebus is reaching full capacity. Should we shut it down? Reeves didn't answer immediately. He stared at the readings, waves of power moving through space faster than light. He finally said, No, keep it running. The Council must see it. Moments later, every screen in the Galactic Council flickered to life on its own. A human face appeared, Admiral Reeves calm and serious. This is Earth Command, he said. We have neutralized your fleets without loss of life. We hold your people safely. Return to peace and we will return them. Continue aggression and the consequences will be beyond your understanding. The transmission ended. The council chamber fell silent. No one dared to speak. Finally, one voice whispered, "What? What do we do now?" Karen turned toward the stars on the holographic screen. "We listen," he said. "For once in our history, we listen." Far away in the cold shadow of Pluto, something massive moved. Hidden deep in the blackness was Project Eden, Earth's next creation. Even the Erebus team didn't know its full purpose. Only a few humans had clearance to see it. Inside a dark control room, Admiral Reeves watched the silent machine unfold its metallic wings. He whispered, "Let them think we are defending. Let them never know. We're preparing." The stars outside shimmered as if space itself bent around the new weapon. Reeves looked at the Earth projection one last time and said softly, "Patience is our greatest weapon. But even patience has an end." The Council had no choice left. Their pride could not accept defeat. 2 fleets had vanished without a single shot from Earth. Billions of credits lost, thousands of soldiers gone. The galaxy whispered about their failure, and the Chancellor's power began to fade. "We cannot let humans rule by fear," the Chancellor shouted in the Grand Hall. "They humiliate us with silence." "We will strike again, harder, stronger, faster." Many leaders stayed quiet. Others looked away. Only Admiral Karen spoke. His voice was calm, but his eyes carried warning. "Chancellor," he said softly, "every time we attack, they do not fight back, yet we still lose. That is not weakness. That is control." The Chancellor glared. "You are a coward, Karen. Your fear blinds you." Karen stood tall. "No, my fear saves lives, but it was too late." The Council had already approved the largest assault in galactic history. 5,000 ships drawn from every major species, prepared to attack Earth. This time they promised themselves humanity would bow. In the cold void beyond Jupiter, the fleet formed a massive wall of metal and light. 5,000 ships, glowing, armed, ready for war. They aimed their weapons at one small blue world that hung silently in the darkness. Earth did not answer. Earth did not move. To the aliens, it looked like weakness. But to Admiral Karen, watching from his ship far behind the main fleet, it looked like something else. Patience. The command signal came. "All ships advance!" Engines flared. Beams of light cut through the void. Missiles, lasers, plasma bolts, every weapon in the galaxy was unleashed at once. The sky around Earth turned white. Then, everything stopped. The light froze. The missiles vanished mid-flight. The stars themselves seemed to fade. "Commander," shouted a pilot. "Our weapons, they're gone!" "What do you mean, gone?" "They just disappeared." Panic spread through the fleet. Every system failed. Engines shut down. Weapons locked. Communications died. Then a voice came, calm, human, and everywhere at once. It echoed inside every ship, every mind. "We asked you to stop." The voice was not angry. It was disappointed. "We wanted peace. You wanted war. Now you will see the difference." The stars came alive again, but not as they were before. Blue light spread from Earth like ripples in water. Each wave touched a ship, and that ship simply vanished, swallowed by silent energy. No explosions. No screams. Just stillness. Karen's crew stared in horror. "Sir, entire fleets are gone." "They're not exploding. They're fading," Karen whispered. "The Erebus protocol. They've activated it fully." A scientist turned toward him. "What is Erebus?" Karen's eyes were fixed on Earth. A weapon made from fear itself. The blue waves reached the outer ships. Karen's vessel shook violently as energy passed through the hull. For a brief second, he saw flashes. Alien ships trapped inside glowing bubbles, their crews frozen but alive. Then it was gone. On Earth, Admiral Reeves stood before a massive screen showing the battle. The operator said, "Sir, the Armada is contained. All hostiles neutralized. 0 casualties confirmed." Reeves gave a slow nod. "Good. Prepare message transmission." A moment later, every remaining alien ship received a final broadcast from Earth. The same calm human voice spoke. "You attacked us again. We still choose mercy. Take this as your last lesson. Do not come here again." The message ended with 3 words. "We remember everything." The council chamber was filled with chaos. Leaders shouted, argued, blamed each other. The Chancellor sat pale and silent. His empire, his fleets, his pride, all gone. Karen entered the hall slowly. He placed a small device on the table. A hologram appeared, Earth glowing peacefully against the stars. They could have destroyed us, Karen said, but they didn't. They only wanted us to stop. The Chancellor finally looked up. What are they? He whispered. Karen stared at the image. They are what we all forgot to be. They are survivors. Later that night, Karen stood alone on his ship, staring at the blue light of Earth in the distance. He remembered the laughter in the council chamber, the mocking words, the arrogance. Now all that laughter was gone. A message arrived, not from the council, but from Earth itself. It was short. We forgive you, but do not test us again. Karen read it twice, then smiled sadly. He whispered, no humans. It is we who must ask for forgiveness. Far beneath the Antarctic ice, Admiral Reeves deactivated the Erebus core. The glowing sphere dimmed and went silent. Earth was peaceful again. A young officer approached him. Sir, do you think they'll ever come back? Reeves looked at the dark sky on the screen. They will, he said quietly. Fear never sleeps. But next time we'll be ready. He walked toward the observation window and whispered to himself, we showed them mercy today. Let's hope they never see what comes of. The galaxy was quiet. The great armadas were gone. The council's pride was broken. For the first time in thousands of years, no wars raged, no fleets moved. Every star system watched one blue planet, Earth, and waited. Would the humans strike back? Would they demand revenge? No one knew, but days passed. Then weeks, and Earth stayed silent. Inside the Galactic Council chamber, the air was heavy. Many seats were empty. The surviving leader sat pale and speechless. The Chancellor stared at the floor, his voice trembling. We sent 5,000 ships. Not one returned. Not one explosion, not one survivor. How can they do this? Why haven't they destroyed us? No one answered. Even the proudest general stayed silent. Then the doors opened. Admiral Karen entered, the only one who had seen everything. He placed a small data chip on the table. This was sent to us by Earth, he said. The hologram flickered to life. A human woman appeared, calm, dressed in white, standing in front of the United Earth flag. Her voice was clear and steady. To the Galactic Council, we have returned your people unharmed. Their ships are waiting outside your own borders. We fixed their systems. We hope you understand now. We never wanted war. The hologram ended. The council chamber was silent for a long time. Finally, someone whispered, They helped our soldiers? Karen nodded. Yes, they repaired the ships they captured. Every crew member is alive. Shock spread across the hall. No one could believe it. Why would they do that? One general shouted. After what we did to them? Karen's eyes softened. Because that's who they are. They fight to survive, not to conquer. The next day, the first alien ships returned home, perfectly intact, floating just beyond the council's border. The crews were dazed but alive. They told stories that sounded impossible. They spoke of cities floating in light, of humans walking among them calmly, treating them not as prisoners, but as guests. They were fed, healed, and even allowed to walk outside, under the same blue sky they had once sworn to destroy. One alien soldier described it simply. They smiled at us. No anger. No hate, just sadness. Admiral Karen requested permission to go to Earth under a white flag. The council hesitated, they feared another trap. But Karen insisted. If we do not face them now, he said, we will live in fear forever. And so his small ship entered the solar system. No weapons, no escort, only silence. As he approached Earth, he expected to be stopped, scanned, maybe even destroyed. But instead, a calm voice spoke through the comms. Welcome, Admiral Karen. We've been expecting you. He landed near a vast city of glass and green, New Geneva, the heart of Earth's new alliance. Human soldiers stood guard, but none pointed weapons. They simply nodded politely as Karen stepped onto the platform. A human general approached, tall, gray-haired, wearing a black uniform. He extended a hand. I'm General Reeves, he said. Welcome to Earth. Karen hesitated, then shook his hand. The gesture felt strange, gentle yet powerful. You returned our people, Karen said quietly. You showed mercy after we showed hatred. Why? Reeves smiled faintly. Because mercy is stronger than fear. We wanted you to understand that. Karen looked around. Humans laughing, children playing, scientists working beside alien guests. Everything seemed peaceful. It didn't look like the world of monsters the council had imagined. "You could have destroyed us," Karen said. "Yes," Reeves replied. "But if we destroy everyone who threatens us, we become the same as them." Later, as Karen prepared to leave, Reeves handed him a small device. "This contains everything we know about peace, science, and coexistence. We hope your people will use it wisely." Karen accepted it, his claws shaking. "You truly wish for peace?" Reeves looked toward the stars. "We always have. But peace doesn't mean weakness, Admiral. It means knowing when to stop fighting and when not to." Karen bowed his head slightly. "Then maybe we still have much to learn." When Karen returned to the council, he faced a room full of silence. The Chancellor asked, "What did you see?" Karen took a deep breath. "I saw humanity," he said softly. "I saw strength hidden behind kindness. I saw a world that could destroy us all, but chooses not to." He placed the device from Earth on the table. "This is their gift. They call it the Peace Archive." The council members stared at the glowing object, afraid to touch it, yet drawn to it. The Chancellor finally asked, "And what do you suggest we do now?" Karen looked up. "Remember," he said. "Remember that they warned us once. They asked for respect. We laughed. Now we understand." He turned to leave, pausing at the door. "Let us hope," he added quietly, "that they never stop being patient." Far above, in orbit around Earth, Admiral Reeves stood at the window of the command station. He watched the stars, a quiet, peaceful, and distant. A young officer walked in. "Sir, message from the council. They're disbanding their fleets. They want peace talks." Reeves nodded slowly. "Good. Maybe now the galaxy can breathe again." The officer hesitated. "And if they betray us?" Reeves looked out at the endless stars. "Then," he said softly, "they'll see what mercy kept hidden." The galaxy was changing. Slowly, silently, but completely. For the first time in recorded history, the Galactic Council lowered its banners of war. Armies were disbanded, fleets returned home, and the word Earth became something new. Not a joke, not a myth, but a warning. Admiral Karen watched from his home world as new trade routes opened toward the solar system. Ships now traveled not to attack, but to learn. Humans had invited the galaxy not as rulers, but as teachers. Yet behind that calm invitation, there was still a quiet tension, because everyone remembered what had happened to the Council's armada. Thousands of ships vanished and came back untouched. No one ever discovered how. Not one recording. Not one clue. It was as if the humans had simply decided the battle was over. One evening, Karen received a secret transmission. The code was old and human origin. He hesitated before opening it. The screen flickered, revealing General Reeves. Older now, his hair silver, his face calm as ever. "Admiral Karen," Reeves said softly, "we have a problem." Karen frowned. "A problem? With the Council?" Reeves shook his head. "Not the Council. Something worse." He pressed a button, and the stars behind him shifted into a map. A dark region beyond the outer rim, pulsing faintly red. "They call themselves the Devourers," Reeves said. "Ancient machines. The Council never told you they've been hiding their existence for centuries. They consume suns, entire systems." Karen's breath caught. "How long until they reach us?" 2 months, Reeves replied. The next day, a secret meeting was called, not in the Council Hall, but in orbit above Earth. For the first time, every major species attended under one roof: human, Zilari, Thraxian, and more. General Reeves stood before them all. "We stand at the edge of extinction," he began. "The Devourers won't talk. They won't stop. They erase everything." A Thraxian general snarled, "Then we fight!" "Together." Reeves nodded. "Yes, together, but we must fight differently. We can't rely on your fleets or weapons. We'll use something older." The aliens looked confused. "Older?" Reeves smiled faintly. "The human way." Over the next week, strange things happened. Human scientists shared their secrets freely. Energy shields, stealth drives, gravity nets. The same technology that once terrified the Council was now being given away. Karen watched in disbelief as human engineers worked side by side with alien crews. No pride, no arrogance, only unity. One night he asked Reeves, "Why help us?" "After all we did?" Reeves looked at the stars. Because, he said quietly, if we die alone, we deserve it. But if we stand together, maybe we still have a chance. When the Devourers finally arrived, the galaxy trembled. Black ships the size of moons consuming everything they touched. Whole planets turned silent within hours. The combined fleet, humans and aliens, waited at the edge of the solar system. More than 20,000 ships faced the darkness, and then the Devourers came. They moved like shadows, silent and endless. Energy blasts vanished into the void. No weapon seemed to work. Karen's ship shook violently. "We can't stop them," he shouted. Then Reeves' voice came through the intercom, calm as always. "All ships fall back behind Earth's orbit." "Let them come." Karen was confused. "You're letting them in?" Reeves smiled. "Exactly, the Devourers entered Earth's orbit. Their black hulls blocked the stars. Then something happened. Something no one had seen before. The sky opened. From the heart of Earth's magnetic field, massive rings of light rose into space, wrapping around the planet like glowing shields. The Devourers' ships froze mid-flight, systems shutting down one by one. A deep pulse echoed across the void. "This is Earth Command," Reeves's voice boomed. "You came to consume us. But you forget, and we were forged in fire. We are survivors." The rings pulsed again, and the Devourers began to disintegrate, their metal bodies breaking apart into dust. One by one, the red lights faded. Silence. Total silence. Hours later, Karen stood on Earth's surface, staring at the night sky, the stars shining brighter than ever before. He turned to Reeves. "You could have destroyed them long ago, couldn't you?" Reeves smiled faintly. "We didn't want to. We wanted to see if the galaxy could stand with us first." Karen nodded slowly. "And now?" Reeves looked toward the horizon where dawn was rising. "Now," he said quietly, "maybe they'll stop laughing." Weeks later, every major civilization signed a new pact, the Solar Accord. No wars, no slavery, no conquest.